Alabama, we've got just a kind of a big exodus right now. Now we've got almost double-digit numbers into the transfer portal. Not all of these portal names are going to stand out to you, except for, unfortunately, the very notable starting center Seth McLaughlin, who those snap issues were a big storyline from the Rose Bowl. Some other players that you might recognize on that list: former 5-star receiver Shaz Preston, freshman quarterback Eli Holstein. We also have JC Latham, the stud tackle, is off to the NFL draft. But as we're always trying to do the personnel ins and outs, looking at Alabama's roster, you are going to have some expected turnover here. But of these exits and departures, and as we're looking ahead to what Alabama's got coming in, what stands out as some of the most notable headlines to you?
So I think it is hard to keep quality depth in today's day and age when other places have starting spots for you, and also the NIL that comes, commensurate with a starting spot. Like, is Seth McLaughlin good? No, he's not horrendous at blocking. Now, the snapping throughout the year was a problem. Terrence Ferguson is a guy who I think will go to another Power 5 program as an offensive lineman and start. I will say on 24/7, Shaz Preston was definitely not a 5-star. So just do want to point that out. Like, he's a decent receiver, but just kind of another, all right, like the third or fourth best guy that Bama signs in their receiver class on an annual basis. Some will hit, some won't, some will wash out. We've
seen that with Alabama's wide receivers basically since the star run. Since Jalen Waddle, we've had a lot of guys come in, Ja'Cory Brooks, Trayshawn Holden, and they might flash when they transfer somewhere else, but it's not like we've seen that kind of dominance since about 2020, 2021.
They may have him this year coming in. With Perry Thompson, and if Ryan Williams sticks, he hasn't signed yet, he's just committed. Those guys are pretty nice. Eli Holstein, I saw on Twitter there's some Pitt interest. I'm just not somebody who ever thought that he could play at Alabama at all, and I never understood why they would take him, but they did, and he's gone after a year. So not surprising to me there. Maybe he can work at Pitt. I just didn't see it with him. Who else on this list really matters? I don't know. None of these guys are losing, I think, are impact guys.
That's good. See, that's good to point out, because when the headline is like, whoa, this big tidal wave of players leaving right now, what does that mean for Alabama? Tom, does your antenna stick up? Because, we got to have that conversation, right?
By the way, I need to, excuse me. I was thinking Ryan Williams, Auburn, just because they're trying to flip him. Perry Thompson is actually going to Auburn. I don't want that to get clipped. And okay. Apologies.
Oh, Perry Thompson flip watch. Bud Elliott reporting here on the Cover 3 podcast, everybody.
Because we just shot a video about Cam Coleman. Cam Coleman is the truth. Yeah.
I think clearly, Chip, there is a culture problem at Alabama, and Nick Saban has lost control of the locker room. Is he retiring? I think these signs all point to yes.
Well, I don't know.
He might.
We did ask, do we think he wins another title? I don't.
I don't either. I think it's going to be so much harder to win a title now for Alabama.
Is it though?
Yeah, because
but access has always been the thing. For me, it's been why the SEC has had such advantage. They've gotten 2 teams in the playoff, for a lot of the years. So you get that. They're going to get a majority of the teams in the 12 team. And if you're Bama, you're almost going to punch a ticket at the beginning of the season based on perception. I mean, they're going to go 10-2, and that's in, and potentially 9-3.
But see, that's the thing. I look around at the SEC. I think other programs are moving up. And I also think that Alabama,
they don't have to beat them, though.
No, but are they ever going to get the first round bye? Alabama, more often than not at this point, with the way Georgia's rolling, is probably going to have to win 3 games to win a national title once it gets to the playoff. And we've seen, they haven't won a playoff game in how many years now? It's we talk about they haven't won a national title in 3 years. They haven't won a playoff game in a few years. So it's I don't know if I have enough trust in them right now to win 3 games and win another national title. I think they're going to be getting to the playoff pretty regularly, but I don't know if they're ever going to be my favorite to win it once they get there.
Isn't it 4 if you're first round, quarterfinal, semifinal title?
Yeah, sorry. So 4.
Yeah. So is Alabama the odds that are changing right now, you're going to have to win twice as many games if you make the playoff to go and win a national championship. I mean, I think they could, but I don't think that it's as surefire as it has been before. I mean, this was supposed to be on paper one of the most talented Alabama teams, and the performance did not line up at all.
I think it all depends. And what's crazy is that, as I say this, they had Bryce Young and Will Anderson and did not win a title with those two. But I think it is kind of quarterback dependent. Like if they get another, game changer at quarterback, who I don't think Jalen Milroe is right now. He has to make a drastic jump in being a quarterback, going through progressions, not just deep balls and, running, but he's got to be that mid-range quarterback. If he develops, I think he can, but I still think that's the piece they're missing.
Is Julian saying the answer? I mean, that's their stud quarterback coming in. Maybe not for 2024, but is that somebody who can lead Alabama to a national championship?
I think he could. Yeah, he does seem different than the guys they've signed since Bryce Young.
And it could be somebody else that we don't even know about in the portal.
Well, it wasn't Tyler Buckner.
This year is not,
clearly was not, but I think they're always in that mix.
Well, I mean, who hasn't jumped in who would kind of scratch that itch? Like who can they
Will Howard.
I don't want to say tamper.
No, I think this year they're not. They almost, because of the way Jalen Milroe played, they're not in the market this year. I'm saying next year. Post.
I think they would be in the market if the right guy. Like I don't think all of that staff believes in Milroe. I think some do. I mean, they clearly didn't believe in him after the spring, right? They went and took Tyler Buckner, who's a lacrosse player.
They didn't believe in him after Texas, or when they benched him.
And that was the funniest thing to me about the whole Bill O'Brien snafu at the press conferences before the games about Bill O'Brien didn't think he could play quarterback. I'm like, dude, your current coaching staff benched you for Ty Buckner and didn't believe in you all off season.
Also, do you think Nick Saban disagreed with Bill O'Brien? Like, do you think Bill O'Brien's allowed to say that if Nick Saban doesn't agree with him? Because I don't. I just think Jalen Milroe can't call out Nick Saban because he's his current head coach.
Milroe was taking reps at receiver at last year's Cotton Bowl.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think Alabama's going to win a national title with Jalen Milroe at quarterback.
Okay,
I agree.
That's a fair way to put it. All right, other NFL draft exits of note. I would not say that this is a headliner, but y'all saw Will Shipley. It's off to the NFL draft. I feel like that's a loss for Clemson. I'm not good at the NFL draft, projections in terms of what he's going to be, but certainly something to keep an eye on as Clemson, looks to try to have a bounce back moving forward. Either decisions to come back or, decisions to go. Anything stand out from sort of the last couple days of buzz here? And for those who are keeping track, our deadline, I believe, is 2 weeks away or about a week and a half away. Mm-hmm. It's the Tuesday, not next week, but then the Tuesday after that is our early entrance deadline. So any names or any decisions that have stood out?